as the Eagles fall for the third consecutive game, their first three-game losing streak since 2023. Back in studio with the fellas and Emery Hunt, Bryant McFadden. This is the type of game that takes years off of coaches' lives. We're looking at 8 turnovers combined between these two teams. 5 fumbles, 3 of them lost, 5 interceptions, 4 belonging to Jalen Hurts. We somehow, some way get an LA Chargers victory, which keeps them right where they want to be in that playoff picture. What do you make of the messiness of this football game?
I don't know. I was surprised, like all of you were watching this ball game, because these are 2 playoff caliber teams with experience at the quarterback position, at the skill position spots as well. And this was one of the more sloppier games that I've watched clearly this season. But someone had to win the ball game, right? Had to win. It almost ended in a tie. But we did have a winner. And it was all about the Chargers defensively, making the necessary not just stops, but game-changing plays that led to them winning this ball game. Because I can tell you this much, I love the fight from what I saw from Justin Herbert, but their offense, they need to get better, especially at the offensive line. I mean, he was sacked 7 times. Outside of the 7 times when he was put to the ground, he was harassed. He had to make people miss. He never got comfortable. But their defense, man, I was really impressed and pleased with from what I saw with the Chargers defensively because of what they did. They were able to prevail and come up with a huge, big-time win.
Too often we see defenses play reactionary, but this team was instinctive and they reacted on what they saw. So how many times we saw them drive on the football? How many times we saw them just turn the ball over? Even on that last play, we saw them do a great job of trusting the zone coverage, getting the hand up, playing both the shallow receiver and the deep receiver. And Hart got his hand on the football, and the instinctive play of Tony Jefferson to reach back and grab the football, and most importantly, stay in bounds, because he was sliding and his foot could have went out of bounds. But throughout the course of the ball game, we saw this team just, if they saw it, they went. And they didn't wait, it wasn't hesitant, and that right there is the difference between making game-changing plays.
Credit to the LA defense, definitely. I think some credit due to the Philly defense for keeping their football team in this game as well. They limit Justin Herbert on 1.5 hands to 12 of 26 for $139. It felt like 1 fewer mistakes for the Chargers was the winning formula in this game. Let's go to that final mistake here by Jalen Hurts, because all season long, we're talking about a team that's finding a way to win.
Started the ball game, the very first drive, a deep shot down the football field, the lack of connection. That was the storyline for the entire ball game. Yes, we saw A.J. Brown heavily involved, but in terms of the splash plays, there's no rhythm. There's a disconnect with the quarterback and Jalen Hurts. For whatever reason, he wasn't seeing the football field well. And I understand Saquon Barkley ran for over 100 yards, right? But you talk about finishing the game with 122. But remember, 52 came on the fake tush-push toss. So they had to fool the Chargers in that splash play.
Layer of gimmick.
No question. It wasn't like they were methodically running the football. No, it was a tush-push, and we've seen this play before. You know, they crashed down anticipating the quarterback keeping the ball on the tush-push.
Quick huddle break.
But outside of that, everything was hard for Saquon Barkley. Yeah. And I talked about the lack of creativity with their OC, Kevin Patullo. It surfaced once again, and that's why the Chargers had their way. It felt like Chargers in the secondary, they never were threatened. There's no fear factor when you're playing against the Eagles for whatever reason. And that's why you saw sticky coverages coming from the guys in the back end. And listen, luckily enough for them, they have a nice cushion within the division. Yeah. Even though this loss really makes the Cowboys feel a lot better about their chances, because you just beat Philly, and now you see the struggles that they're having, especially on the offensive side. Who knows? But they got to find a way to correct their wrongs. And think about this. We've been talking about the same problem the entire season. See, we were hoping because of what they did last year, they can rectify those issues. Remember, they had the same issues last year. Yeah. Right? And they got it going. Think about the same things we were talking about in October, we're still talking about in December with this offense.
You point to 2024. I don't want to say this completely feels like 2023 when they lost, what was it, 5 of their last 6 and then ducked out in the wild card round.
And they fired the OC
to Tampa Bay, and then they changed the OC, the center changes. I'm not saying it's upheaval like that, but they have gone cold, and they are now on the longest losing streak since that 2023 season. I would be remiss if we didn't look forward at the road ahead here for the Eagles. It's opportunity all over it. Washington twice, Buffalo once, and Las Vegas coming up next. So you're looking at a 2-win team, a 3-win team twice, and the Buffalo Bills. Maybe that Buffalo matchup is the one that tells us who this team is really going to be come playoff time. Let's pivot here to the LA side because it's gutsy stuff from Justin Herbert. Not the statistical night that he's going to remember, Emery, but we came into this game wondering how it would affect the way that he went about his game. It only got more physical for him. He was sacked a season-high 7 times. What did you make of the physicality that he endured with that hand?
I loved it because he used it to his advantage late in the ball game where we just expected him. He was getting hit every play on that wrist, and we saw him late in the ball game use that to his advantage. Oh, he's just going to give the ball to the running back. And he pulled it in a great time and got outside and got a positive chunk play, and that kind of kept the Eagles off balance. That's how they got enough yards to go get the field goal. And the difference between what we've seen from the Chargers and what we saw from the Eagles are running plays, not an offense. We're seeing the Chargers run an offense. There was a schematic sequence to what they were doing, and it was led by the toughness of their quarterback. He knew when to take the deep shot, when to check it down, when to run, when to be aggressive, when to slide, when to give it. Everything was in sequence to make it look like the next play, and we saw a great adjustment in coaching by the Chargers because as great as Amari Hampton was running the football, they recognized early he's a liability in pass pro. Kamani Badal, yes, we have you returning kicks. We know you can run the football too, but you probably are our best in pass pro. So get in there and you have to go the distance. And so they changed that right on the fly and didn't let a bad play linger or didn't do things that ultimately cost them the game. That helped them win the game so the Eagles defense couldn't get back in it. So the coaching on top of the toughness, on top of the reactionary skills, it was a complete team win for the Chargers.
This was the gutsiest performance I've seen from Justin Herbert, I think, in his career. Right? And I might be a prisoner of the moment, Charger fans, help me out if I'm wrong. But just seeing what he did tonight, because of the injuries on the offensive line, they had no shot in protecting him, and he knew it. I mean, they sacked him 7 times. He probably was hit another,
60.
But what he did was, he said, you know what? For me to kind of alleviate some of this pressure off my offensive line, I'm going to become a playmaker. In a game in which all of us thought they would be a bit cautious, or he would be cautious in running the football because he don't want to put that hand in harm's way. He was like, forget this. I got to do whatever I need to do to win this ball game. This is why I'm getting paid north of $50 million a year, because I got to sacrifice myself for the greater good of the team for us to be in position to win this ball game. And to your point, Joe, he didn't throw the football well. We didn't see Lad McConkey, the pass catchers, being impactful players. But what he said was, I'm going to run this football. Right? Ran the ball 10 times for 66 yards. He averaged 6.6 yards per carry. Every time he ran the football, it was significant yards. They needed that. So when you talk about your franchise quarterback understanding and knowing how important this game is, and he was going to do everything in his power to win this ball game, my hat's off to Justin Herbert.
Already sacked a career high.
He just had surgery last Monday.
He was on an operating table a week ago, and he was maybe not operating at the highest level here on Monday, but it is enough to get the win. Sacked a career high 45 times already this season, and they have 4 remaining games to play. The stiffness of test of those 4 is nothing to be shy about here. They got a KC team playing for their life next week, Dallas, Houston, and closing with Denver. So this does not punch ticket for the Chargers, but a massive win here. The difference between 9-4 and 8-5, massive. We're going to have that AFC playoff picture coming up here in a moment. But Mac, I tell you, coming into this game, that the Eagles are going to sack Justin Herbert 7 times, and they're going to force 3 turnovers.
That's a win.
That's a win. So
that's a win.
Let's play this out in that locker room that's come into question throughout this season. The defense does this, the offense fails to do the other. What is that conversation internally where there's already been strife?
Well, 2 things defensively. You had a great game without Jalen Carter. That's something to be encouraged about because he will come back eventually. Offensively, hopefully you get Lane Johnson back as well. And you don't expect to see 5 turnovers, 4 interceptions coming from your star quarterback and your
4
offense.
field goals too.
And kicking and settling for field goals. And you missed one, right? You remember he missed a gimme right before halftime where your defense got a turnover. And you think about the 3 points that he missed at halftime and how the game finished in a tie. That could have been the winning points right there. So it was just a mishap of things happening with the Eagles. So
can you sell that to that defense?
You can because they know how good their offense can be. They know how good their quarterback is, most importantly in protecting the football. And the one luxury they have, something that you said was very, very important, this game was massive for the Chargers because of who